call the member for Whitsunday.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. I rise this afternoon to make a brief contribution following report number 18 by the Innovation, Tourism, Development and Environment Committee in the wake of the 2019 estimates hearing at Parliament House on the 31st of July this year. I've got to say, Deputy Speaker, I was very pleased to be given the opportunity to come onto the committee and participate, given the events of the last 6 months. Certainly my interest and passion for tourism has not waned, despite the fact that I am no longer sitting on that committee and circumstances beyond my control. I did have the opportunity to ask some questions to the Minister. It is, of course, an opportunity for non-government members, not just Her Majesty's opposition, to grill the government of the day, but also members of the crossbench. And whilst I only asked a couple of questions, it wasn't for the want of trying to ask more. I did chip the Minister for Tourism in her presentation on the day, Deputy Speaker, and I'll refer to what was said in Hansard here when the Minister said, quote, "Hayman Island is reopening later this month," end of quote. Well, she said that on the 31st of July. Last I checked, there was only 31 days in July, and the Minister certainly didn't take too kindly with being chipped later when I did say that the resort had already opened, and there was some argy-bargy about when it would be officially open, and of course it officially opened last Friday for the benefit of yourself, Deputy Speaker, and members of the House. Hayman Island did reopen officially last Friday, and it was pleasing to see the Premier there, along with the Tourism Minister. I've got to say that not everyone knows where our islands are, because it was only last year that the Tourism Minister was joined at a press conference by the member for Mackay, where the latter got mixed up, as I recall, between Daydream Island and Lindeman Island, but it was in fact Hayman Island that was officially reopened last Friday. Mr Deputy Speaker, I've got to say that we all know about the importance of the Great Barrier Reef and our islands, and of course there's been a lot of public debate and commentary about those islands recently. Many honourable members may recall the so-called expose by 60 Minutes recently, which carpeted the Whitsunday Islands, in fact resort islands up and down the Queensland coast, and it would be remiss of me not to point out that the redevelopment of Hayman Island and Daydream Island was ignored in that report. And I think there is genuine passion for the government of the day and the opposition of the day and the crossbenchers of the day to see our tourism industry grow. Where the argy-bargy comes in is in relation to how we get there. And it is good to see that the government is spending money on rejuvenating our island resorts, and I appreciated the Minister particularly outlining the money that's being allocated to rebuild the jetty, or to establish a new jetty on South Mile Island, where, of course, the old resort is no more, which has been pretty well documented. Deputy Speaker, of course, there's 60,000 jobs that go along with the Great Barrier Reef, and the Whitsundays plays a key role in that, with about 40%, if not more, of passenger movements into the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park coming through the Whitsundays, which, of course, duels with Cairns in the far north for those bragging rights, and I'm sure that will continue for a long, long time to come. Deputy Speaker, I've got to say that the Minister, as I say, did not appreciate the being chipped in relation to when Hayman Island was being opened. It is important that we get these facts right, and it was interesting to see the Chair say what he had to say in relation to my return to the committee. I want to reiterate what I said a moment ago. My passion for the tourism industry, which underpins the economy of the iconic tourist town of Airlie Beach, the heart of the reef, it has not changed regardless of the political machinations of the last 6 months. There is no doubt about that. And no one in public office has spent more time in advocating for the Whitsunday Islands and standing up for people in the Whitsunday Islands than yours truly. And that was underlined by my return to Hayman Island last Friday for the official opening of the resort there, thanks to Mulfer Group and their latest investment. Deputy Speaker, I just want to sum up by saying here this afternoon that the members of the opposition, in asking questions, left much to be desired. No doubt about that. And I don't think the crossbench had a fair say, and I take the comments on board of the member for Noosa. We're there to ask questions of the government. It's not just the domain of the opposition, and regrettably the process is the way it is. Having said that, Having said that, I
Member's
stand
time
up
has
for the tourism
expired.
industry
I call the
24/7.
member for Cook.
Speaker, I rise today